Who doesn't love a good taco?
And can you believe that these crispy shrimp came from the air fryer? I also made my own roasty, delicious salsa, classic fresh guacamole, and a cilantro lime sour cream topping to make these gorgeous little bundles of absolute joy.
I made crispy air fryer shrimp one day as a total experiment, and I was so pleased with the results that I just had to show you.
First, to make the salsa, I want to roast the majority of the ingredients for a deeper flavor. I cut one big red bell pepper, one fresh jalapeno pepper minus the seeds, 2 medium-sized white onions, but of course you could use yellow or red onions here if you wanted more of a sweet onion flavor, and 7 large Roma tomatoes. I used Roma tomatoes because they were in season and very affordable at the time. I placed all these large chunks on my biggest baking tray lined with parchment paper. I coated everything with olive oil, fresh ground black pepper, and kosher salt. I made sure everything was coated and spread out evenly on the tray and placed it in the oven, which was preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, about 200 Celsius. I roasted everything for about 30 minutes, occasionally checking to make sure nothing was burning and moving things around to make sure it was all getting heated through. Once all my veggies were soft and roasty, I transferred the ingredients to a medium-sized bowl, allowed everything to cool for about 15 minutes. Then it was time to dump it all into the blender and add some fresh garlic, fresh cilantro, more salt and pepper, a good glug of olive oil, and the juice from one big lime. I gave this a few pulses and a quick blend, so it wasn't too smooth or too chunky. Just the way I like it. For the guacamole, I started by cutting a quarter of a red onion into very small pieces and tossing them into a bowl. Then I diced up about a quarter of a fresh jalapeno, also trying to make these pieces as small as I can. Then I chopped up some fresh cilantro, grated a garlic clove, and zested a lime into the bowl as well. At this point, I'm ready to add the main ingredient, the avocados. Slicing around the seed and twisting in half, removing the seed and removing the flesh from the skin with a spoon. I used 4 avocados in this batch. I squeezed in all the juice from the lime that I had previously zested, and then added some fresh ground black pepper and kosher salt. I kind of wish I had a potato masher or something, but I don't, so this cocktail muddler works just fine for now, especially since my avocados are slightly firmer than desired. After maybe a minute of mashing this all together, I have the guacamole to a consistency that I like. Give it a little taste to make sure it's well seasoned, and I approve.
Now it's time to whip up this little sour cream concoction topping doohickey. I've got some 14% sour cream here. I'm putting about a half a cup, and I'm going to do like a tablespoon-ish of mayonnaise. Then I just want the zest from this whole lime and a very small clove of garlic. Chop up some cilantro. nicely. Okay, and then I just want the juice from half of this lime. I am just going to whisk it up. I want it to be somewhat thin, and that is still too thick. I probably put too much sour cream. That's okay. So let's just get the other half of this lime in there. I also need to put in a little pinch of salt. You know what? I'm just gonna add a little splash of lemon juice. Little splash. And that's more like what I actually want. So I'm just gonna dump this in my squeeze bottle. And I have a lovely little topping for the very top of my tacos. Okay, and now it is finally time to do the shrimp in the air fryer. So what I've got in front of me is flour. This is an egg where I'm going to add a splash of milk. And then I have a cup of cornmeal, a half cup of flour, equal parts oregano, smoked paprika, chili powder, cumin, salt, and garlic powder. So there is a teaspoon of each of those spices, and I'm just gonna add them right to my mixture here. A little bit of black pepper to that as well, and make sure that's all combined nicely. This is definitely just a very simple taco seasoning. So basically we're getting our cornmeal all nice and seasoned, and this is going to be the main thing that gives us a really good crunch to our shrimp. And then I'm just going to use the same fork to eat my egg. And I'm just going to grab the shrimp. This was already deveined. I did have to peel them. I did that off camera and wash them up. So now it's just time to dry them. So I'm just going to set them on my paper towel here. Just give everything a good little pat. They're all nice and dry and ready to dredge. The most important thing with this is having a wet hand and a dry hand. So my left hand will put this shrimp into the flour. I will shake off any excess that I have here, and then it's gonna go right into the egg. Then with this hand, mixed around in my egg wash, let any extra drip off there, and then I'm going to plunk that right into my cornmeal, flour, and spice mixture. Go back with my dry hand, toss it around, make sure everything's nice and coated, and beautiful. That can go on my parchment paper sheet. I'm just going to continue that with all of these. Sometimes I forget which hand is which in the middle of doing it, and then what happens is you have glue fingers.
When my shrimp is all breaded, it's time to fry. I'm spraying the air fryer basket with avocado oil and preheating on its highest setting, which is 400 Fahrenheit, 200 Celsius. Next, I'm placing the shrimp in the basket with some space between them, or as much as I can with this small basket. Then spraying them on top and putting them in for about 3 or 4 minutes per side. The shrimp cooks very quickly, and I want to get the coating cooked, so that's why I do it at the highest temperature for a short period of time. After 6 to 8 minutes total time in my air fryer, the shrimp are crispy and firm and ready to toss into some tasty tacos. I am absolutely obsessed with how perfect these shrimp come out every single time. Just look at those. It's so hard not to just eat them all like this.
super duper hot, but breading has a nice flavor to it, like classic taco seasoning. The shrimp's not chewy. It's still tender. So good. I'm gonna eat these all if I don't plate these up. So I'm just gonna take a couple tortillas here. Get some salsa. Some of our guacamole. Put a few pieces of shrimp. Probably 2 on each one is good. Sorry, so good. So at this point you could put some sort of something crunchy and raw, like a cabbage slaw, or maybe even something pickled. These are just some raw, thinly sliced pieces of radish that I'm gonna toss on top here. And then I have my sour cream topping. And of course, finish it all off with a little bit more fresh cilantro. And just like a little extra green pop. And you have restaurant quality shrimp tacos at home to serve to your loved ones. What are some of your favorite tacos? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you liked this recipe, just hit that little thumbs up, give that a little clickaroo. And until next time, I hope you're taking care of yourself and enjoying all the flavors of life. Thanks for watching.